Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today. Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video, and today we're going to be talking about every movie I watched last week, and this was a pretty interesting week. You can kind of see a big theme throughout this week, which I think is very funny, because they're two totally different genres of film, but yeah, I mean, my two main themes or genres of the week were crime westerns or crime movies and anime. So two really like kind of opposite sides of the scale, or opposite sides of the spectrum, I guess. But nonetheless, that is a pretty solid week. A lot of movies I enjoyed. There's really only one movie I didn't enjoy. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into the video. So let me push over, and of course my least favorite watch of the week was Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scar Giver. And I ranked this one a 41 out of 100. I just really don't have an interest in this franchise, unfortunately, and one of my best friends, Ryan, absolutely loves Zack Snyder with every fiber in his being, and he loves every Zack Snyder movie, including both Rebel Moons, but it's just not interesting in my opinion, which is sad because I want to like these movies, I want to like this franchise, I want to like this universe, but knowing that there's longer versions of both of these first two parts that just haven't been released is quite saddening, because similarly to the Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League, why does this keep happening to Zack Snyder? I just feel bad, and I will admit I don't know everything about this, but I just would like to see the full movie. Hopefully one day we can, but yeah, overall, I just don't enjoy this franchise. I don't find it very memorable at all so far within the first two, and I think, I don't know when the third one's slated to come out, but we'll see. We'll see. So, with that being said, well, actually, you know what? I will talk about one thing that I loved about this movie, which is Tom Holkenborg's score. I really enjoy the score in both of those movies so far. I think that's the absolute shining point of these movies. Definitely the highlights of the movies for me. So, with that being said, now we'll move on to Ocean's 12, which I thought was alright. I ranked it a 68 out of 100, so it's not like it's bad by any means. I thought it was pretty decent, actually, but yeah, it's so far my least favorite of the Ocean's movies. Almost a month ago now, Mel and I had watched the first one together, Ocean's 11, and this week we watched Ocean's 12 and Ocean's 13, so yeah, I mean, overall, this movie was alright. I found it a bit messy, and I really didn't like the directing and filming in this movie. I just thought it was really weird, and I didn't find the plot as interesting in this movie, especially compared to the first, because the first is really great, but this one is quite a step down. I have it literally like 20 points lower or something like that, so yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really enjoy this one all that much, but Mel did enjoy this one more than Ocean's 13, so where I'm the opposite. But we'll keep going on to the next movie, which is Forsaken, and here's kind of where the crime, crime thriller or crime western is kicking off. So this was an interesting movie. This is a movie I never heard of, but I seen it was on Netflix. I seen it was a Western, and I decided to toss it on. I watched it. I did enjoy it. I ranked it a 70 out of 100. Yeah, I mean, overall, it was kind of interesting. I felt like the ending was a bit rushed. It just felt like it ended kind of quickly, kind of abruptly. And it was just really weird seeing Donald Sutherland not kill and complete mass murder as Coriolanus Snow. So I just thought that was funny. But yeah, let's keep going on to Ocean's 13, which Mel and I literally just finished like 20 minutes ago, and I'm recording this movie because I've been recording this episode, sorry. I've been trying to record these videos the night before they go up, so they're ready to go for 5 o'clock. That's my goal. That's been my goal the past few weeks, and I've been doing really well at it. So this one is obviously getting filmed beforehand, but yeah, we literally just finished this movie, so it's fresh on the mind. But a 71 out of 100 for me. Like I said, Mel enjoyed this one the least so far, and we're probably going to watch Ocean 8 sometime this week, which I know Mel does like. I haven't heard great things about that one, so we'll see. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed this movie more than the second one, like I mentioned. It's only a few points higher, but I definitely thought this one was just better as a movie. It was more interesting, plus Al Pacino. So Al Pacino is always a win, in my opinion, and in everyone's opinion, it should be. So, yeah, let's just keep going. Up next to kind of where the anime starts, the secret world of Arrietty, which was a pretty interesting story and a pretty interesting concept. Obviously, most anime concepts are quite unique, quite out there, quite different than, like North American culture, which I am North American, so yeah, but I've been getting really into anime movies over the past few weeks. I watched a little bit last week, watched quite a decent amount this week, and I'm probably going to watch more next week and with the upcoming weeks. I really want to try to get through Miyazaki's filmography, which I know Arrietty isn't Miyazaki, but still, I did enjoy this movie, and I've enjoyed pretty much every one of Miyazaki's movies so far. So, with that being said, talking about Arrietty, definitely the biggest strong point of this movie for me was the music. I found the music to be absolutely elegant, and I really, really enjoyed my time with it because of the music. And again, I just thought the story was pretty interesting, and it got a little sad and emotional at times, but it was never depressing for the most part. But yeah, overall an enjoyable watch, and anyone that likes anime, I would definitely recommend it. So with that being said, we'll move on to another crime thriller, which is The Town. I've also been kind of working on Ben Affleck's filmography a little bit, and here's one of them. I've seen mixed opinions about this movie. I've heard really great things about this movie, and then some mediocre things about this movie, and I'm kind of around that, closer to that mediocre than to that amazing standard, where I did enjoy this movie. I don't necessarily like a lot of the characters, but it was just kind of an interesting crime thriller. But yeah, I mean, overall, I didn't necessarily love this movie, but I did think it was good. Like I said, it gets a 74 out of 100 for me, and I've seen mixed things about it, so I feel like that's a pretty good rating for it. But keep going to Suze, which was definitely the most interesting watch of the week. And obviously you can read my review here, but it's because I got to see this at the Capitol Theater downtown in my hometown of Moncton, New Brunswick. And this is actually where the star of the film, or one of the stars of the film, Charlie Gillespie, is from. He's also in Totally Killer that came out last year, and he's also in Julie and the Phantoms that you guys may know him by. And yeah, Julie and the Phantoms is one of Mel's favorite shows. I quite enjoyed Totally Killer last year more than most people. And yeah, this was a pretty cool movie to watch because we get to see it in the theater where all of the plays that are in town are being performed at. And Charlie Gillespie was actually there. He came out before and after the movie. After the movie, we had a little Q&A session. Got to kind of see him talk a little bit and answer some questions. So it's really cool. He seemed like a nice guy, and obviously him and I are from the same town, so that's pretty cool. But this movie was pretty great. I cried during this movie, which was pretty awesome in a weird way, I guess. But this was a really funny and emotional movie. Everyone was laughing in our little auditorium. I didn't think it was the funniest movie ever, but I did laugh. I did have some chuckles, but everyone was laughing so much. So a 79 out of 100. Mel really enjoyed it as well, and we went with Mel's mom, who also really enjoyed it. But yeah, with that being said, we'll move on to No Country for Old Men, and this is actually definitely the most sad watch that I watched this week, not as a movie standpoint, but as the expectations I had for this movie. So this is probably the film I've wanted to watch the most since starting my kind of dive into film over the past 3 to 4 years, and I was really let down with this one. Something just didn't hit right with me. I don't know what it was. I wanted to love this so much more than I unfortunately did, and I'm really hoping that when I rewatch it later this year, I'm going to enjoy it more and I'm going to love it for what it is because I've heard such tremendous things about it. And I don't know what it was. It just didn't hit the way I expected it to. I mean, I still ranked it an 80 out of 100, but there's been a lot of movies over the past few weeks that I've been watching that are known as some of the all-time greats. And personally, I just don't love it as much as some people, which is really sad. But this one is one I really want to give a second chance because I really want to love this movie because it is great and I think it's even better. So I'm hoping with a rewatch, it'll really just skyrocket. But an 80 out of 100, it's not like that's bad by any means. But everyone I follow on Letterboxd that has seen this has ranked it a 5-star, and I'm out here ranking it a 4, and I just feel like an idiot. So I really want to rewatch it. But with that being said, we'll move on to my favorite Western of the week, which is Hell or High Water, which is probably a hot take having this above No Country for Old Men, but I really loved this movie. There was some tremendous acting in this movie, and I really enjoyed it. I just thought this was a really gripping and interesting story, and overall, I just enjoyed this one more. This is my top 3 of the week, so I really, really enjoyed this movie, and this was awesome. So let's move on to my second favorite watch of the week, which was Dazed and Confused, which was a really fun movie, kind of a coming of age, and I really enjoyed my time with this. This one was just really fun, and it's kind of like that 90s what is that, Rat Pack, or like that kind of young teenager kind of film. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I really want to watch more. I think it's Richard Linklater, right? Let me double check that actually. I'm pretty sure that is correct. Yeah, Richard Linklater. So he is the director. I really want to watch more of his films. I really want to watch Everybody Wants Some because the cast of it looks amazing, and I've heard everybody loves that movie. So I would really like to watch that movie here in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, I ranked this an 86 out of 100. This was a fun time. It was very interesting, and I really, really liked this movie. So with that being said, we'll move on to my number 1 of the week, which isn't a crazy high movie, but it is still my favorite at an 88 out of 100, which is Suzume, which is not my favorite anime film yet. Who knows, maybe it could be, but as of right now, I've only watched probably about like 15 or so anime films, and this is definitely one of my favorites, and without a doubt, out of all the ones I've watched so far, this was the most beautiful anime film I've seen, without a doubt, like I mentioned. It was absolutely gorgeous and breathtaking, and I loved to look at it because it was fucking beautiful. I loved looking at every single scene in this movie. It was mesmerizing. The animation was fantastic, and the story I really, really enjoyed too. I really enjoyed the characters in this movie, and even the characters you didn't think you were going to like, you ended up liking, and the final scene really hit, and it hurt. It hurt. There were 2 films I cried to this week, so shout out to Suzume as well for that. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. Let me know your thoughts on all these movies if you watched them, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.